story behind this panel, I had a wonderful call with some of the people in the industry now, and they said, hey, can you take a look at the lineup of things that we have on the agenda? What's missing? I said, there's one thing, and it's the one thing everybody's coming for, which is how-to marketing tactics. How do I get more guests in the door? How do I get them coming back? And they said, yes, thank you, you're in charge. So I called these guys, and I said, okay, here's how this panel is going to work. We're all going to go through and give one acquisition playbook or tactic. So it's not a strategy, it's going to be how to do something. So each one of us will give you an acquisition tactic, okay? Then we're going to go back through and we're all going to give you a retention tactic. And hopefully we'll have enough time at the end to take questions. That sound good? Yeah. Okay, does this thing work? Okay, I have a small thing to ask you to do that we're going to, if you don't do this, it'll make it hard for me to explain something later. So, does anybody want to increase awareness? We'll do that again.
Yes.
Does anybody want to increase awareness?
Yes.
Does anybody want to increase engagement?
Yes.
Does anybody want to increase your following on social media?
Yes.
Does anybody want to increase your CRM?
Yes.
Does anybody want to increase retention?
Yes.
You're in the right room. I need you to do something. I need you to take any picture. It could be a picture of me in front of the War of the Worlds Monument. That's last Saturday. That is in New Jersey, by the way, if you ever want to go to the War of the Worlds Monument. Take a picture and upload it to your Instagram stories and tag my name. Okay, I will explain why later in this presentation. If you don't do that, it will make it hard for me to show you the tactic. So again, you can take any picture you want. It does not have to be a picture of us. It can be a picture of the floor. You can also delete it 2 minutes after you post it. So this is not me trying to gain some gamification and some engagement from me. But it's super important. If you want to see a tactic we're going to show you, you have to tag me on your Instagram stories. Cool? We're good? Everybody's good? We'll come back to that? All right, great. All right, up first, Erin from the Museum of Ice Cream. Let's have your acquisition tactic, please.
All right, so when we're talking about real tactical stuff, local listing management is the first and easiest thing you all should be doing. And a lot of times I'll go to your Yelp pages, I'll go to your TripAdvisor page, I'll go to these, and they go, oh, well, we don't see a lot of customers come from there. But what it does is it helps your search engine optimization grow. So all you have to do is go on these platforms and make sure your stuff is up to date, that the pictures are loaded and there isn't like a photo with a cockroach hidden on the floor, and then respond to the reviews. And again, you're going, this sounds so simple, and someone in this room is going, I should probably check with my team and see if we respond to those reviews. Because just as it was shown earlier today where they pulled up coffee places and saw how many people didn't respond to the reviews, I guarantee some of you in here are not responding and not authentically responding. Again, you're going to say, Erin, why is that important that I'm responding to these reviews? Because I don't believe it actually drives people. But people are watching it, and again, it helps with your SEO to say that you're relevant and you are out there and you will be lifted higher in organic search.
So all listings management is important, but what's the most important part of listings management?
Google, Yelp, and maps.
Right, but what information in particular for our industry is super important to have in your listings?
When you're open,
Yep.
your hours, your address, like go through and act like you don't know what you're doing and you know nothing about your restaurant, and make sure the information is there and accurate. How many times I've opened and I'm standing in front of a restaurant and I'm like, Google says it's open and it says closed. And I go, but Google says it's open. And it's really, really annoying. And it's so simple. You can update that. You can make sure your phone number, your website, all of the links are on there. Your social media is on there. Very simple to do.
And also your menu. How does Google know that your restaurant is right for chicken tender searches if you did not update your menu to let Google know you have chicken tenders? Cool.
And also, don't just link to your menu and upload it that way, but also put a PDF out there of your menu, because there's still a lot of people that want to be able to pull that PDF and send it to their friends and go, hey, you cool with this menu?
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. All right, we are going to move on to Deena, who's going to talk also about SEO optimization.
Yes, and it's a really great addition to what Erin was saying, because it also sounds so simple. But your website titles, tags, keywords, the descriptions, all of them, you can go and check every page, make sure that they're all optimized for search, and in 3 months you can have 30% more web traffic and 15% more sales conversions. It's a very simple tactic. And you have to keep doing it, because you have to keep going in and making sure that it stays optimized as the algorithms update. And if it's something that you just make sure that there's a team member doing consistently, probably at least, once a month if you can, once a quarter if not, it's a very, very simple tactic that automatically lifts you up in those search results. So combined with what Erin said, it's something that really will make a difference in your business quickly.
And because Google they're jerks, right? So they like to change things. They like to go, oh, it was 90 characters, now it's 120. And we're going to ping you if you didn't change all your exclamations to 120 characters, right?
And another thing that you can do that's really easy, because it sounds like it's tedious work, and it can be, but you go in and every page title, you can then use ChatGPT and find out if it's SEO optimized. Mm-hmm. You can just put the title in ChatGPT and say, write an optimized version of this title for me for every page. And the same thing with your descriptions, because the descriptions, I think they can be anywhere 200 characters or something like that right now. Copy and paste what you have currently, put it in Google SEO, let them know what your target keywords are, put it in ChatGPT, let them know what your target keywords are, and it'll pop you out a description that's really optimized too.
Who has multi-units? Who has more than one store? Okay, does each one of your stores have its own page on the website? Mm-hmm. Okay, it should. And if you're wondering what to put on those stores, you do not have to write down all the things that you should down. Just go do what McDonald's does. McDonald's has literally perfect SEO optimization. Go find the nearest McDonald's to you, look at their page and see everything they do. And the most important thing is you put the address of the restaurant in the URL. So go find a McDonald's location page and make sure your location page looks just like that. Cool? All right, Sarah.
Gonna tack on one quick thing related to SEO that's very tactical, but two things that worked really well for us related to website optimization. One related to location pages was we recognized that almost 35% of our traffic was landing on a location page instead of the home page. We were spending almost all of our time optimizing the home page for new menu items and trying to make that a really fantastic experience. So we optimized location pages to kind of act as mini home pages, just adding amenities of restaurants and reviews and some menu items and making sure those were really buttoned up. And that increased conversion rate really substantially. And then another one that we had a lot of success with was building out category pages for catering. So an office catering landing page and a tailgating and a wedding. We're continuing to build those out. Those have driven over, I think it was like 3,500 SEO sessions the last time, and within a year, and have really high conversion. So if you have catering as an offering, that could be a good solution for you potentially to look at too. And then tactical things, and I'm gonna get super tactical because that's what Rev asked us to do. One of the biggest acquisition strategies that we have employed over the last year is actually moving a good portion of what was going to be spent on more traditional advertising like paid social and YouTube and connected TV towards influencer marketing and employee contests, so spending more on people. And part of the reason behind that was what was mentioned earlier in the session by a few different people was just this growing kind of ad aversion, especially by millennials and Gen Z, and that's a good portion of our target consumer. And so we really started investing more heavily in influencer marketing, and we're targeting kind of those nano to micro influencers, so think like people that have 10,000 followers to 30 to 50,000 followers. And they're very affordable. A lot of these guys will work for food trade, gift cards, sometimes a few $100s of cash. Honestly, the biggest hurdle has been finding people who have good engagements, reaching out. Like there's a lot of manpower involved in that still. But a couple very kind of specific things that we've found that work well, inviting these influencers in to test out LTOs before they launch, because that is kind of an exclusive thing. It's fun for them, it's fun for our guests. Also giving them like off the menu or hacks. That had created some really good content. And then this is something that is relatively new but has worked really well for us too, is just paying very close attention to UGC content that's coming in. We recently had a really good patio video with two girls. They were just having fun on the patio eating queso and kind of going back and forth with the camera. We reached out to them, asked if we could use their video, got sign off, gave them some gift cards. And we posted that on our Instagram channel, and it got 5 million organic views. And so, which again, for us is a really substantial amount of visibility for not paying for that. So that was very successful. And then the other way that we have started reallocating these ad dollars is back into employees, so running more employee contests. And two things we've done with that: one, loyalty and app signups, so having stores compete against each other to get more people into our loyalty program, or also incentivizing based off of participation rate, so how many people are signing in with the loyalty program when they're eating in the restaurant. And then one that's just like a lesson learned, we were using this for review acquisition, having stores compete for reviews. It was very effective in driving reviews and high rating reviews, but we ultimately decided it was not a good guest experience. We didn't want our guests to feel hassled by someone being like, give us a review, give us a review. So we eliminated that practice, but so those are my two.
Awesome. Okay, we were originally supposed to be joined by Alonzo Castaneda from Savory Friend and Pincho. He couldn't make it today, so I brought you his acquisition play because I also helped him build it. Okay, this is what we call the NSOP. Anybody know what NSOP stands for? New store opening playbook, okay? You got a new store opening, take this playbook, okay? So here's the idea, right? This is an example. We learned this building this for Mobetta's, okay? So here's how it works, okay? You have to have an offer. Oh, that's not supposed to say degree of loyalty. Anyway, you need an acquisition offer. So it could be buy one, get one free. It could be a free item. It could be 50% off your first meal. It could be $5 off. You have to have an offer, okay? What are you willing to pay to get the guest in? Then you create a landing page, okay? And on that landing page, you have to have an opt-in. So when the guest gets to the landing page, they put in their name, their email address, so you're collecting the guest data before they've come in for a visit, okay? Then you run a meta traffic ad to that page, right? So, hey, sign up for a free burger, a new store coming, get a free slice of pizza, a free burrito, whatever the thing is, okay? And then you have an automated email that comes off the landing page. So it's an acquisition offer, it's a landing page with an opt-in, right? It's a meta traffic ad, and then you send them the offer via email, and now you've collected everybody's email address before the store has even opened, before they've ever had a dining experience. You've already built a CRM for that store, and you make sure that you email them like the day before it's going to happen or the day you're going to open, something like that. Michael?
What is the runway for that? Like, how soon is not too soon? Like 6 months, 3 months? How soon do you start to...
So if you're asking Luis from Jollibee, who's not here, he would tell you 6 months. We've seen success in like 3 weeks. So those ads have a tendency to barrel roll. So like they'll go into learning mode for 2 or 3 days, and then when you've kind of optimized for CPC, you dump more money and they shoot up. Stacy, do you have a?
Go back to the slides with the metrics on it. How much did you spend to get the 3,500?
Oh, I think this campaign was like $500. Yeah, this is the first time we figured it out, but yeah, it's pretty cheap. All right, everybody got the playbook? We're good? Okay, now we are gonna switch over to retention. Erin, back to you.
All right. SMS, it sounds really simple because it is. 98% of text messages are opened within 4 minutes of receiving. That includes when you're in the bathroom, in the shower, in that statistic, in case you're wondering. And I know that you've all been looking at your phones in the bathroom because we can see everything. However, in this case, when we talk about retaining those customers, I don't stay friends with someone I don't talk to, right? I might, maybe like in a blue moon where you call someone after 5 years. But typically to cultivate a relationship, we date, we hang out, we talk to each other. What a great opportunity than to text. So how do you do it? I've worked with multiple text messaging companies, as well as there's a lot of email companies that also offer text, but I'm a big fan of Tap On It. Tap On It is an SMS company. They can have you set up within a week and out the door, ready to go. You can convert over your email users by saying, hey, we are gonna go ahead and opt you in. Do you wanna double verify? As long as you're following the rules, you're fine. And then you start a conversation. The great thing about Tap On It that they do have, and I don't work for the company, is that they have conversational text. So that same way that if I'm always talking at you and you never get to talk back to me, now someone can respond. Your customer can respond back to you. For instance, my example earlier where I'm standing outside the restaurant, Google says it's open, door says it's closed. I can be like, hey, your door says it's closed. And the restaurant can immediately respond, either through AI or through a real person and say, oh my goodness, you're right, let me go ahead and make this experience right for you. You've retained that customer. You continue to cultivate the relationship and have a conversation with them. And that actually creates real loyalty.
We actually have two-way SMS at Handcraft Burgers and Brew. You can literally just text us.
Text me.
And so we put it in every single one of our replies on Google and Yelp, like, hey, if you have any questions or suggestions or there's a problem, you can send us a text. It's on our website. We don't have a chat bot. We just have text us. It's in our Instagram bio. Just send us a text, and so we can literally two-way talk to our guests. It's incredible. I use Ovation. We use Ovation. That was actually something Ovation didn't even think of, and I was like, oh, I found a fun way to use Ovation. So if you're using Ovation and you don't know how to do that, come see me later and I'll show you how to set it up. Cool? Any other questions on that? Okay, great. Let's move on. Let's go to Deena for Guest Connect.
Thank you. And another really great segue, because in order to talk to these customers, you have to collect their information. We have, 20% of our customers that we actually have information on that make up the majority of our revenue. And then we have 80% that might be credit card customers, but we can't actually market to them. You can trend them, you can look and see what their behavior is, but you can't market to them. So how do you connect with that 80% of those guests that are using credit cards that are tokenized if you want to convert them into your database? Well, that was a challenge that I had when I was at Papa Gino's in D'Angelo, and I went out and I found a product called Guest Connect, and it's by a company called Data Delivers. And basically what they do is they take your POS data, they ingest about 2 years worth, and then they identify customers that through third-party partnerships have email addresses and other identifiers so that they find about 10,000 more customers per location that you can market to. It's a great opportunity to be able to get those people and transition them into first-party customers. So I think that's a great tactic to do so that you can then continue to grow that business and continue to retain them.
Awesome. All right. Let's go on to Sara. Best bud parties.
Yeah, so Condados loyalty program is lovingly called Buds with Benefits. So super quick story, the term buds is just used a lot. It's part of our culture. Our founder used that term all of the time. And one time I asked him, I was like, Joe, what's up with you calling everyone bud? He's like, I'm really bad with names, and I don't want anyone to feel bad about that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's great.
It's a marketing hack.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
A marketing hack.
Awesome. He's the original marketer at Condados. So we've got our loyalty program is called Buds with Benefits, and the top tier of our loyalty members are called Best Buds. And so we started really trying to lean into learning from our guests. And one way that we did that was by hosting these parties for our most loyal fans. And at first we were doing it to just celebrate them, give them free food, some booze, and hang out with them. And then we started expanding that into having them test new LTOs, using it kind of like an R&D, a tasting event. We're now further expanding it because we were just getting this great information from them related to their experiences, things we were doing well, things that were pain points for them. So we went from like, let's do this once a year to we're doing it like once a quarter. Maybe we'll do it even more, but that's been really beneficial. And then the other one that we've been doing more recently is really starting to explore negative guest reviews on a more frequent basis. This really actually kind of caused us to realize that this is a technology need for us because it's a manual process right now. We need a better type of like CX tool to help us with this, but we spend quite a bit of time analyzing negative guest reviews, categorizing them, really looking for actionable insights, and that was fascinating, super helpful. One example in those, like, especially the 1 to 3 star and that like 2 to 3 star, the meh reviews, right, were a lot of people saying that they were not immediately greeted when they came to Condado and that there was frustration there. We're a full service restaurant. And what we realized was that some of the restaurants had removed the full-time host role, and it was in an effort to save on labor, and staffing was difficult, and the GM was supposed to be out front. But in reality, what was happening was that a lot of guests were just not being greeted, and that was very frustrating to them. They just didn't have that first great experience. So that's something we're changing right now. We're working on adjusting that.
That's awesome. Can I tag on to that too?
Yes.
For your negative reviews, one thing that everybody can do is You can export your reviews off of any of your review sites. Export them into a CSV, filter by your 1 and 3 stars, upload them into ChatGPT, and say, ChatGPT, analyze this data for me and tell me what I need to do. It will come back. The other thing you can do with ChatGPT, because you had mentioned it too, is you can do a focus group. You prompt ChatGPT and you say, here are all our persona data. We're about to roll out this type of new taco, burrito, whatever it is, milkshake. Tell me how these personas will respond. And now you've just saved yourself a crap ton of money. And it's pretty darn good.
Awesome. Awesome. Where's Olivia Ross? Hi. High five. Where's Billy Bricks? High five. Honest Coffee? High five. And who else? Is that you, Hannah? High five. High five. All right, I'm going to give you my retention tactic. Okay. Remember I asked you to put a picture on Instagram and tag me? Those are the 5 people that did it. I don't know why the rest of you did not do it. I'm going to tell you about something called Guru Club. Okay, this is a really cool piece of tech called Guru Club. Okay, so what happens is your guest shares on Instagram stories and tags your brand. So you're watching me do it live here. So there's my burger shop. I've tagged Handcraft Burgers, right? What then happens is it immediately tags a DM offer into their inbox. So those 5 just saw what my offer looks like at Handcraft. It's $5 off your next order. Okay, so now I've got my guest sharing to their friends on social media about their experience, okay? Because it triggers as a DM, I can now DM that guest. So I'm gonna get awareness, I'm gonna get followers, I can have a direct message connection, and then they tap that, and it gives them the offer, okay? So I gave you guys all the high five. You see get a high five from Rev. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. So now I've got my guest telling their friends about my restaurant. I have higher engagement. Maybe I'm getting more followers. I can have a DM conversation with them. I'm giving them a retention offer, and I'm growing my CRM in one simple, easy to use product. How's that sound? You man, guys, like this is it. Like this is what we brought you the best of the best here. Like, come on, question. You control with Guru Club. You control the offer and the frequency. So, like, let's say you're like some of the high frequency, like donuts or coffee or juice. You could have a reset every week, like free coffee in your next offer, or for we do it every 30 days. So if you tag us at Handcraft Burgers, you'll get the $5 off your next order, and you won't get it again until you either use it or 30 days.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
I got a question. I've posted on your page so many times that when I get to New York, I'm going to eat like Handcraft for like 3 days straight.
I mean, you would anyway.
Mechanism on that where it won't repeat sending the same offer out?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is you can control it.
No. You just like it that much?
I do. Although the last time I was at Big Chicken, I paid. So, okay.
Is Guru Club also the messenger sequence funnel?
So Guru Club is the technology that powers the whole thing. So the only manual part of the process is you replying in DMs, but everything else is automated. So and the best thing is it's $40 a month per location. So you can have a trigger unlimited amount of times. Somebody, actually, we go to the next slide. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm gonna make a point here. To the panel, all the things that you've learned or tried, or the technologies that you just suggested, how did you find out about them?
Somewhere like this, probably. I'm trying to think. Somewhere like this, or learning from my peers.
Yes.
Somebody else told you about it,
Yeah.
or you had a referral, they said you gotta check this out, or whatever. Okay, I found out about Guru Club from Solomon. He found it and called me. He's like, if anybody's gonna get this, it's you. And I was like, yes, give me this tool right now. And it's been awesome. And now here I am doing the same thing, okay? Why do I ask this question? Okay, this is for everybody in the room, okay? There's supposed to be an Ovation logo here. This is on Zach Oates' LinkedIn page yesterday, okay? Tell Zach he owes me $250. Okay, why does Zach share this glowing video that one of his customers put about his product on his social media? Because that is an endorsement. That's a real endorsement. This customer, this pizza shop, was so excited about what Ovation did that she made her own video and put it up on social media, okay? If you're a vendor, get your happiest customers to tell stories about your product. And I hear all the time, like, oh, we don't like to ask our customers. We feel weird about asking it. Your product sucks. If your product is awesome and your clients love you, they're gonna be happy to do this. You just have to ask. And if they don't wanna do it, you need to have a conversation with your product development team. I'm not goofing around there at all, okay? Now, I'm gonna put that now onto the brands. If you're a restaurant brand and you have technology that you like, or you have a playbook or a tactic that kicked ass, share it. Put it on social media, call a friend, tell us, we're all looking for. The reason you're in this room, the reason we put this panel last is because this is what we all want. Okay, tell us how to do something. You discovered something, help us figure it out. So if you're a brand and you figured out something cool with your restaurant marketing, share it. Especially this room, especially this audience, okay? Does that make sense? Did I just beat all of you into submission? Okay, all right. Okay, who wants some more tricks, tips, and tactics? Okay, some of you probably already do this. I have a newsletter on LinkedIn. You can get there quickly by restaurantsgrow.tv. Every Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday morning, I put up a blog post, and it has literally what we just went through. Here's how to do A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z, steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tomorrow, you'll see a review of the show and what my biggest takeaways were. So if you want stuff like this all the time, go to restaurantsgrow.tv or just go to my LinkedIn page and follow my newsletter. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm literally trying to help everybody. Cool. Anybody follow that? Anybody subscribe? Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Okay. Next, who would like to sell more LTOs? I'm going to ask that question again. Who would like to sell more LTOs? Okay, wow, man, I've been thinking at the end of the day, like, we're ready to go here. Okay, well, I have this really silly titled book called How to Sell a Ridiculous Amount of Burgers for National Hamburger Day. It's just a silly title. It's a playbook for LTOs, okay? If you hit that QR code, it will take you right to the book. Again, I'm not going to try to sell you anything, okay? I will follow up with you because an email because I'm a marketer. But if you want that book, hit that QR code, or you can just go to the bit.ly. That is the link to my newsletter, and you can also DM me. So with that, I'm going to open the floor with 3 minutes left for any questions. Anybody have a marketing question? Over here.
So every time somebody tags you, do you reshare it to your social?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every
No,
time.
I don't.
That's, yeah,
I get 1,500 tags a day. So I don't have time to share every single one. What we do is we go through and we calculate which ones to share and not share.
We do the same, and some of them aren't great shots of the food and stuff either. So that's part of it too, is just like, how good of a photo or a video is it?
You want the pro tip on doing that? When you share it, type out the words thank you and then their screen name.
Yeah, we definitely tag the person to
Yes.
give them credit. And when we do share, like, what we've learned is the ones that really go crazy are, and like I've been picked up on like Sports Center and everything for, are the like fails, right? Like it's like a fun, it doesn't degrade my product, but it's like a sprinkle pool fail, right? And my product's a little bit different, right? I serve unlimited ice cream and jump in sprinkles every day. So like joyful. Sometimes when people jump in sprinkles, it doesn't always go well. They do really well on
shocking.
social.
Great question. Stacy.
Are you guys using any platform for review management, or are you doing it all natively?
I am currently doing it all natively. We've done different platforms in the past. It just depends on what you really need it for. Currently, because of my location count at my current place, I don't need necessarily to spend an extensive amount of money on it, but I have used review platforms in the past.
We piloted Ovation before I left, and it did great. I don't know what the status is after that, but I know that the operators loved it, and everybody was very, very happy with the pilot at the time.
We use Yext. We have 50 locations, and so each of the GMs and area managers have access to their own locations, and they're responsible to actually responding to the reviews too. And it works well. We are looking at other tools though too, just because again, there's just some shortfalls with it's not really a full CX platform, but it also handles our listing management.
Awesome. Yeah, we use Ovation. Ovation replies to 4s and 5s. We reply to 1s, 2s, and 3s.
Who do you have on the team that's like responding to all those text messages you were talking about and reviews? Because we have such a hard time. We get a lot gratefully, but it's just so hard to keep up, and I feel like more slip through the cracks than actually get the attention
For us, it's varied depending on, well, I've worked at a lot of places. So I spent 10 years in casinos. I've done retail, restaurants extensively, and then Museum of Ice Cream. And with all of these, it really depends on the team. So currently, sometimes it's actually our vendor who assists us in the responding to like the text messages. The reviews, we've outsourced to a company overseas actually as part of our contact center. They picked those up. But then I've also worked in many restaurants where we've had the GM or the shift managers all have part of their responsibilities are to check and respond. And I will tell you there are huge pros and there are huge cons to that too. So you have to decide which way you lean and how you compensate them accordingly. I've also had social coordinators who that's their job is to make sure to check and respond. The other thing we have to do because of our excessive amount of DMs, we probably get 4,000 to 5,000 DMs a day, and that includes being tagged and things. We also outsourced a lot of the DMs customer service overseas as well because there's just so many conversations happening.
Is there a company you can recommend?
Yes, and it's slipping my brain right now, but I will follow up with you, absolutely.
Cool. All right, well, we're at time unless you guys want to keep asking questions and the organizers don't mind us. We got to get off. Oh, we can go? Okay, we have one more question. Anybody got a killer question? No? You got three of the best marketers in the business on the stage. You have no questions. All right, Olivia.
What is one piece of marketing advice you've received in your career, or leadership advice, let's go with that, leadership advice that you have received in your career that you think would be valuable to share with this group?
Not everyone wants to manage people. So that was one, I learned just through my mentor actually was coaching me on that, is that I just assumed everyone wants to continue to grow into some type of manager role, and some people are really great practitioners, some people are really great bartenders, or and that is, that brings them a lot of satisfaction. And if you can put someone in a bad position if you kind of force them into a role that is not actually right for them.
I would say that context about business objectives and strategies is key to share across your teams at every level. And I think Josh mentioned it yesterday in his session. When you explain why you're doing things to the people on the front lines and everybody on your team, they want to get behind it more. They feel more a part of it. And so instead of giving and sort of divvying tasks in silos to get things done, which we all are very guilty of doing because we're so busy, it's really explaining the why. Why are we doing this? Because here's the overall business objective, and everything that you do within the organization at whatever level you are, you're driving the business. And I think that was the best piece of advice that I've ever gotten and started implementing, and I saw great results with that with my teams.
Those are both great. I have two, and it's two things that I live by, which is always be learning, right? Always be curious, always ask questions. Just because a tech vendor says they can do something, ask about it. You don't even have to know what you're asking. Be like, how do you do that? And learn about it. And then the other one is put good into the world. And I know it sounds simple and it doesn't sound like leadership advice because it's human advice, and it means put good into the world. Someone in this room yesterday asked me what I sold. And I said, I don't sell anything, I'm just a nice person. I just wanted to talk to you, I just wanted to say hi. I'm not selling anything, I'm not trying to force you to jump in sprinkles. I'm not trying to do anything except for to share that I'm a human that looks for human connection. So if you put good into the world, good will come back to you. And forget that, yes, there are salespeople, yes, there are vendors, yes, we're in restaurants, but we spend more time at work than we do anywhere else. And how great if when I pass away someday, or for that matter, what we heard about Solomon and how amazing of a man he was. Nobody said he ran a good restaurant. No one got up here and said that. They said he was a really good person. And that's what we all strive to be, and that's the best advice I've ever been given.
I love that.
Amen. All right,
Yay.
well, thank you guys.